Milestone man Rangan spun Sri Lanka to a 259-run victory against Bangladesh in Galle. Well, Sports First has a comprehensive report on the win. Before that, here's a look at tonight's headlines.
Parliament workers criticised in the political stage.
ගෝවීන්ගේ වන්දි මුදල් ප්‍රශ්නය යට ගිය රටේ බැඳුම් කර සිද්ධිය යට ගිය මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මහත්තයාත් රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහත්තයාත් අතර තියෙන ඩීල් එක ප්‍රතිඵල.
මේක ජනතාවට කරන ඇත්ත වශයෙන්ම ද්‍රෝහිකමක්.
1.84 ලක්ෂයක් වියදම් කරලා මේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවෙන් පහුගිය දවස් 4 රටේ ජනතාවට ලැබුණේ මොකක්ද?
Jail Urban Council engages in malpractice under the guise of public health. Distillery operates out of a school in Hinguragoda. Sri Lanka wins first test against Bangladesh. Rangan becomes the most successful left-arm spinner in test cricket.
President Maithripala Sirisena chaired a review meeting of the Nila Mehevara National Mobile Service Program today at the auditorium of the Polonnaruwa District Secretariat.
As proposed during the Nila Mehevara National Mobile Service Program that was launched in Polonnaruwa recently, President Sirisena presented awards to the students who passed the Grade 5 Scholarship Examination from the Hingurakoda Divisional Secretariat.
MP Vimal Veeravansa arrives in Parliament on a prison bus and celebrates his birthday. Veeravansa's birthday celebrations challenged in Parliament. The Speaker forced to adjourn Parliament on multiple occasions over the past week.
We will finish that.
No, you have to sit down.
දැන් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ ගිරවා ගහේ රිලවා බෙනේ.
අද අපේ മന്ത്രിවරුන්ගේ යෝජනා තියෙනවා. ඒවට වෙලාවක් ගත්තා.
තීන්දුවක් දීපුවාම ඒ තීන්දුව පිළිගන්න එක.
Police enter parliamentary chambers after 23 years to remove MP Dinesh Gunawardena from the chamber. Government MPs stage a walkout.
Well, those were some of the instances on which tensions flared in Parliament over the past week. Even though Parliament convened to discuss burning issues faced by the people, what the public saw was debates that arose between MPs. Political representatives expressed their views on the issues that arose in Parliament.
The joint opposition does not care about the burning issues in the country. The 4 previous parliamentary sessions were sabotaged as a result of the deal that was struck between Ranil Wickremesinghe and the joint opposition. Issues such as Saitam, reparations for farmers and the bond scam lost their priority due to this issue. This is the result of a deal between Ranil Wickremesinghe and Mahinda Rajapaksa.
They continuously make disruptions during the morning hours and adjourn Parliament. This seems to be developing into a trend. The request by Vimal Veeravansa to accept the NFF as a separate group is a part of this effort to bolster this tactic using parliamentary privileges. This is a betrayal of the public. Even we staged protests in Parliament. We went up to the Speaker, but we never scolded him. We should be able to move ahead with the agenda that we agreed on. We cannot allow this to be sabotaged.
Vimal Veeravansa said that he is no longer a part of the alliance. However, the Elections Commissioner does not accept this. Parliamentary privileges are assigned to parties accepted by the Commissioner. There are 5 such accepted parties and Veeravansa's party is not among them. The Speaker issued a ruling and they shouted against it. Just because they shout does not mean that the decision would change.
අඩුතරමේ ආණ්ඩුවේ ප්‍රධානිය හැටියට අගමැතිවරයා අසමත් වෙලා තියෙනවා.
The Prime Minister, as the head of the government, has failed to provide leadership to Parliament. That is why the government MPs had to stage a walkout. Due to the power struggle between these parties, the hopes and aspirations of the public are taking a back seat. Parliament convened over the past 4 days at a cost of 8.4 million. But what did the people gain?
අතරේ රටේ ජනතාවට ලැබුණේ මොකක්ද?
පාර්ලිමේන්තුව අද විහිළුවක් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. නාඩි වැටෙන්නේ නැති මැති ඇමතුරු.
Parliament has become a joke. There are plenty of MPs who do not have a pulse. The farmers can't work because there is a rice mafia. Media institutions like Sirasa expose a myriad of problems through programs like Gammadda, which these MPs have never even heard of. These issues are not issues for the people. It doesn't matter if Vimal Veeravansa is in jail. He has to celebrate his birthday. The people are struggling to make ends meet. They allocated 530 million for ministers to purchase vehicles. They are using parliament for their own benefit. The bond scam is the largest scam to take place in the country. More information is being revealed on this. There should be a debate on the issue in parliament. These are the opportunities that are being missed.
තොර මේ පිළිබඳව පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ යම්කිසි සංවාදයක් හදාගන්න ඕනි. ඒතකොට ඒ අවස්ථාවන් තමයි මේ මග හරවලා තියෙන්නේ.
රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහත්තයා.
The 4 previous parliamentary sessions were sabotaged as a result of the deal that was struck between Ranil Wickremesinghe and the joint opposition. Issues such as Saitam, reparations for farmers and the bond scam lost their priority due to this issue. This is the result of a deal between Ranil Wickremesinghe and Mahinda Rajapaksa.
ඒක ප්‍රතිඵල මේ තියෙන්නේ. මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මහත්තයා රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහත්තයාත් අතර තියෙන ඩීල් එක ප්‍රතිඵල.
Questions were raised during last evening's Sutton political program on the actions of parliamentarians.
There is the bond scam, the Google Loon project debacle and investigations. We are the people raising this issue. We are the people raising this issue.
Some MPs are not even aware of it.
We do not hear your voice.
We have not stopped raising our voice to protest fraud and corruption.
There is fraud in the Google Loon project and you have not said anything.
You have seen the issues that have been prevailing in Parliament during the past few days.
Today there was a walkout from the government. The Parliament is not functioning at present. You are public representatives. Why do we need such a Parliament?
Why does such a situation arise? Ever since this government is elected, if you closely look at the first 2 hours in Parliament, the so-called joint opposition always make a ruckus in Parliament in violation of the parliamentary agenda and the standing orders. We continuously inform the Speaker about this. We told him that he will have to take a decision in order to protect the democracy of Parliament, and it does not matter if it is the government or the opposition.
You are ashamed?
When such MPs behave in that way, we are also parliamentarians. We are aware that the MPs do not have a good reputation in society. That is the reality.
The Chamber of Young Lankan Entrepreneurs marked 8 years today since its inception. The event was graced by the Prime Minister.
Speaker Karu Jayasuriya as well as ministers and MPs were among those present for last evening's event. Loans have been obtained and I cannot be proud of this economy that is in ruins. Until 2026, repayment of these loans will be the main priority of the economy. There is a huge issue in the balance of payment. Our foreign income is insufficient to meet our domestic needs. If we are to overcome this situation, we need to have an annual foreign direct investment of $5 billion until 2020. You called for an anti-dumping law. The law has been formulated and after it is approved by Cabinet, we can get the law passed by July. We will introduce 2 other laws as well. Some might criticize that. We need to get funds to develop the country. We will bring a Foreign Exchange Act to replace the Exchange Control Act. Then we will introduce a Voluntary Disclosure Act. This Voluntary Disclosure Act will be with the foreign exchange. You will be given the opportunity to invest in here without any question. We will provide special tax concessions. We will introduce a special capital allowance system where you will have a deduction on your profits before paying tax.
capital allowances ක්‍රමයක් අරගෙන ඒ දීමනා ටික තමන්ගේ බදු ගෙවන්ට ඉස්සෙල්ලා ලාභයෙන් අඩු කරන්නට අවස්ථා තිබෙනවා.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe also took part in the Lions Club centenary walk this morning, which commenced from opposite the Vihara Mahadevi Park.
Also in local news, a gathering of UPFA supporters was held in the Badegama area yesterday.
This party was not created so that the United National Party can reach a better level. This party was made by the late Bandaranayake not to have a joint relationship with the United National Party. The UNP's Ranil Wickremesinghe does not treat any of the SLF peers well. Today it is Ranil Wickremesinghe, Malik Samaravikrama, Ravi Karunanayake, Charita Ratwatte and Paskaralingam who control this country and the government. Therefore, as SLFP supporters, we are not ready to remain in limbo. We are not ready to allow this government of Ranil Wickremesinghe to proceed any further.
International media reported today that the chief executive officer of Google Loon project has resigned and that a new CEO has been appointed to lead the Google Loon project. The newly appointed chief executive officer for the project is Alistair Westgarth, who headed wireless and antenna company Quintel.
The outgoing CEO, Tom Moore, was brought in after the head of the project, Mike Cassidy, stepped down in August last year. Incidentally, Mike Cassidy was the representative who came to Sri Lanka to sign the MOU on Google Loon with Sri Lanka. The Bloomberg tech site reports that the Google Loon project, also known as X, has been testing its balloons around the world since 2013, partnering with wireless operators like Vodafone NZ in New Zealand, Telstra in Australia and Telefonica in South America to provide internet access in rural and mountainous areas that aren't served by traditional terrestrial networks. Bloomberg further reports that the transition comes after the company scaled back an ambitious attempt to build a global communications service by circling the Earth with high-altitude balloons. According to international media, Moore's hiring was intended to reflect a path towards commercialization of Project Loon, which has only seen limited deployments in countries including Sri Lanka since its unveiling. The report further states that last year, Loon signed a deal to test its internet beaming balloons with Indonesia's 3 largest wireless carriers. A spokesperson for the project has said that they have not started these tests, but the parties still plan to pursue them.
Now the Google Loon is a fantastic technology. With that, the idea of Google is that they say that about 2/3 of the world population is not connected.
Right.
It's not connected.
Right.
They are not talking about the penetration. They say they are not connected.
Yeah.
In Sri Lanka, we are 80% connected,
Right.
but not using.
Right.
When 2/3 is reached more than 60%, not connected.
Yeah.
So that's where they apply this technology to improve this connectivity, give them the connectivity.
Right.
So if you take the complete coverage or the ability of using these broadband technologies in the country, so at least 80% of the population is covered. Overall, if you talk to the operators, they would say that okay, we have voice 100% covered, but broadband for internet access about 80% covered by at least 1 or 2 operators, and few others maybe over 70% covered. So that coverage is there, but the problem is we don't.
The problem is only 25% of the people are using.
On to another one of our headline-making stories. An illegal distillery operation out of the cafeteria of a leading school in Hingurakuda was raided by the Excise Department last evening. The raid was carried out after the Special Operations Unit of the Excise Department received a tip-off. Equipment used for the manufacture of spirits were seized by the excise officials, and the person who operated the cafeteria was also arrested. Investigations have revealed that the suspect was engaged in the operation after school hours.
It was the canteen contractor who had carried out the illicit liquor racket. He obtained the canteen contract through a tender. From that day on, he produced illicit liquor at that location and had sold it outside. The principal, the staff or the students are ignorant of this. He had done it in secrecy. The arrested individual is a past pupil of the school. He is scheduled to be produced before courts. We looked into this. The principal, the staff, managing committee nor the parents have anything to do with this. We will not let this go. We will take legal action against this person.
You are watching News First, and up next is our investigative journalism segment, Action TV.
The Food Act in Sri Lanka is in fact a very powerful act despite the shortcomings that are being experienced. As per this act, the powers vested with the public health inspectors is enormous. As per the Food Act and local government ordinance, when licenses are being issued for institutions, it is paramount that the medical certificates of the employees in service at the respective institution be examined. However, none of these acts go on to say that the employee must produce a certificate issued by a specific doctor after taking part in a medical checkup. In addition, the health sector has not given out any instruction, advice or order that prior to the issuance of a trade permit or an environmental license, public health inspectors must carry out a medical clinic for the employees of the respective institution. In such a backdrop, The PHI of Jaala spearheaded the operation to carry out a medical clinic at the Jaala Urban Council. The PHI of the Jaala Urban Council in question attracts persons for this medical clinic by misusing the Food Act. The PHI in question had visited all the trade establishments in the city and handed out this document. The document reads that medical staff from a leading hospital will be conducting the medical clinic. However, the said hospital has not contributed towards this. My height and vision were checked. It was done by those working in the urban council. These persons are my friends. A sum of 1,950 rupees had been charged from each person that attended the medical clinic, and the invoice that was issued in return has no credibility at all. The reason that one cannot believe that a medical checkup was done for such a sum is because none of the participants have been given the test results. The Deputy Health Officer of Jaala had issued this certificate to a few persons, certifying that the medical reports and the attendees were examined. However, he had done so as a doctor serving at a private medical center and not under his official designation. It is indeed an immoral act for this officer to conduct a medical clinic during his official work hours and charge money for that. Moreover, it is also a direct violation of the health circular. It is the responsibility of the doctor or the medical center to ensure that the results of the medical checkup are placed in the hands of the person that undergoes the checkup. The PHI of Jaala, with the blessings of the Deputy Health Officer of Jaala, engaged in such a malpractice, bringing a great deal of disrepute to the public health, preying on the Food Act. Western Province Director of Health, this is over to you.
United National Party parliamentarian Bandulal Bandarigora broke into a poem today at a party meeting in Baddegama to pose a question to MP Pavitra Wanyarachi.
We do not have any location to have a media briefing. Parliament is not giving us the due recognition.
ඇමති සැපමල්ල නැත දෙවසර තිස්සේ ඒකයි පවිත්තරා මේ පාරට බැස්සේ අගවිනු සුරුවරිය දුරයෙන් ඉවත් කරෝ ඒවදි අසට අත ඉස්සුවා නියෝ නියෝ දනගස්සවන්නට ගුරුමව පෙරට වරෝ වනිතා විමුක්තිය මේකද පවිත්තරෝ මට පවිත්තර නෝනගෙන් අහන්න තියෙන්නේ නෝක තමයි.
The director of the movie Dharmayuddha, Cheyar Ravi, has passed away in Chennai today. According to Indian media reports, Cheyar Ravi died of a heart attack while directing a TV serial. Cheyar Ravi, a veteran of both cinema and television, received his education from the Chennai Film Institute. Through his illustrious career, Cheyar Ravi has worked with numerous personalities such as Rajinikanth and Kamal Haasan. A group of delegates of the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific called on the Minister Ravikanda Naika yesterday. The delegation included the UN Under-Secretary General of the UNSCAP, Shahmad Akhtar, and Amza Ali Malik, the office in charge of the Macroeconomic Policy and Financing Development Division of the UNSCAP. Our correspondent stated that the issues ranging from tax policy reform and public expenditure management were discussed at the meeting with the Minister of Finance. Moving on to sports news now, a combination of bad light and bad weather forced the 138th Battle of the Blues between St. Thomas's College Mount Lavinia and Royal College Colombo to end in a draw after an impressive performance by the Thomin bowlers on day 3.
St. Thomas's College resumed their reply to Royal College's first innings score of 255 on day 3 on an overnight score of 255 for 4. The lads from Mount Lavinia stepped on the pedal from the start of play and went on to amass 357 runs for the loss of 9 wickets before declaring their innings before the lunch break. Thomian skipper Romesh Nallapperuma was the standout batsman on day 3 with 92 runs inclusive of 11 fours. Royal College commenced their second essay with a deficit of 102 runs. They suffered an early scare as they lost their 2 top-order batsmen before the lunch break. The Thomians chipped away at the Royal batting lineup and managed to bag 6 more wickets before bad light stopped play. Royal College scored 154 runs for the loss of 8 wickets with Tevindu Senaratne leading the charge with a defiant half-century. Thomian skipper Romesh Nallapperuma was adjudged the man of the match, while accolades for best bowler, batsman and fielder went to St Thomas's College. The DS Senanayaka Shield was retained by Royal College Colombo.
Taking a look at another one of our local stories. The annual feast of St Anthony's Church in Katchathiu commenced in a grand scale today.
This is the 7th year that the feast is being held at the St Anthony's Church since the end of the war. Incidentally, this is the first time that the feast is held since the church was renovated by the Sri Lankan Navy. Many devotees from across the island were seen participating in the event. However, Indian devotees did not take part in this year's festival.
In the Varadam,
4,991 devotees were due to arrive from India for the feast in 145 boats. However, I received a phone call from the Rameshwaram bishop this morning and he said that the Indian devotees would not be able to come. There are many who want to attend this feast. However, the boats are not willing because of the recent shooting incident.
Yeah, now the thing is that this year we have from Sri Lanka more than 5,500 devotees. We were expecting around 5,000 from India also, but due to the shooting incident which that alleged done by the Sri Lanka Navy, that the devotees coming from India has refused to come. Still the inquiries are going on and Navy has totally denied getting involved in this shooting incident. We should not have this incident which happened to overcome the of tradition that we have, that the Sri Lankan and Indian Catholic devotees come here and come to the St. Anthony's Church in Katchathiu.
Meanwhile, Consulate General of India to Jaffna, A. Nadarajan, said that as the Indo-Sri Lanka fishermen issue is yet, however, spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mahishini Kulonne, said that the Sri Lankan government has made all arrangements to provide necessary facilities to Indian devotees arriving for the festival. A protest took place in Tangachimadam today against the alleged shooting of an Indian fisherman on the 6th. Fishermen from 6 districts in Tamil Nadu took part in the demonstration. Opposition leader of Tamil Nadu, M.K. Stalin, had held discussions with the protesters and had paid respects to the remains of the deceased fisherman kept at the Rameshwaram Government Hospital.
இதுவரையில் இந்த பிரச்சனை குறித்து மத்திய அரசு கண்டிக்கவும் இல்லை, இதை தட்டி கேட்பதற்கு முன்வரவும் இல்லை. இங்க இருக்கக்கூடிய மாநில அரசு உடனடியாக.
With that, we wrap up tonight's edition of Weekend Primetime News. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Arundhati Mudannaik. Good night.